I know I'm going to get a little bit of comments for this. Kia ora and welcome. My name is ZoeStibi and I am your vocal coach for today. Are we ready? Sydnie Christmas and Loren Allred with Somewhere Over the Rainbow. Well, it's written it's Over the Rainbow here, but the song is called, I think it's called Over the Rainbow. Anyway, whatever. They need no more introduction. Let's see what they're up to with the vocal technique. Before they get to their incredible performance, before I forget, if you are looking to learn how to sing like this, it's going to take you a lot of practice, and it is really about getting one-to-one feedback and making sure that you know that what's right for your voice and you're getting that individualized singing tuition. So I want you to check out the link in the description below, because my online singing school, the Vocal Academy, is accepting new students for one-to-one singing lessons. I would love to help you. You really, I can't tell you enough how important it is to make sure that you get personalized feedback instead of just watching random YouTube videos and thinking that you can't sing. Anyway, these two had lots of one-to-one singing lessons. Let's just watch what they're doing.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I heard once in a lullaby.
So we've got there, I know you're going to go like, no, it was Loren Allred's version of Somewhere Over the Rainbow. I know, but that is a little nod to the Hawaiian person, which he did also I'm so sorry, I can't pronounce his name. Israel was his name, the Hawaiian singer, and he did a cover of the song. It's really beautiful. Let's watch that again.
Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high.
So lovely in the way. Somewhere, really short, not even phrases, just saying single words in that breathy voice quality. Definitely in that falsetto sound, which is the stiff vocal fuzz over the rainbow. You know, and she's going to go into a stronger sound here.
Up high, there's a land that I heard once in a lullaby.
Lovely. So before we get to Loren, we're going to la 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 that I heard of. So we know that Sydnie loves to do that kind of sound. It's a little bit of tongue root tension going on there. Heard of. It actually just beefs up the sound a little. We do know other singers that do the same thing. Anastasia, Shakira, Celine Dion, for example. It's a really great way to color the sound. But again, it just that tongue compression, we call it, also can give the sound a bit of a boost.
Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where troubles melt like lemons run way above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me.
Okay, I know I'm going to get a little bit of comments for this. I don't like that Sydnie's got so much tongue compression in there, because it just is meaning it's not, that bit is just not blending. I was thinking before, oh, beautiful, two professional singers, much better blending than we've seen on this show before, where, you know, like the pro sings with the non-pro. These are two really high level pros to watch that blending. Quite surprised of that decision, I have to admit. I'll tell you why. Watch it again so you can listen to it and hear how the sounds, they just aren't going together with those notes. So we've got those two notes. You can hear that blends beautifully. Two slightly breathy sounds. We've got a same vocal, the same vowel going on. Let's just listen again. Beautiful. So got two very they're the same vowels that they're using, their same voice quality. It sounds really low, like they fit. This is where it goes a bit awry. So there you go. I mean, Sydnie's an amazing singer, and we know that she can belt up there without that coloring of the sound. I would expect a professional singer to be able to belt up there without that level of compression, because we want to be able to belt up at the all throughout the range without having, this is an effect that we add on to the sound because it happens here in the tongue, which was what we call the filter, is the mouth. So everything that's happening within the filter is something that happens after. So the sound comes from here and it gets modified then here in the filter in the mouth. So everything that happens above here, we want to be able to change that if we need to. So we had there two different ways in which you could have sung this phrase. Loren held on to a longer phrase. Sydnie cut the phrase a little bit shorter. So where troubles melt like lemon drops. Everybody is entitled to their own artistic interpretation of the song. It felt like there was a little bit of a stop there. We had a chest voice sound. Troubles melt like lemon drops. It's kind of taking it into a different kind of style as opposed to this big power ballad that we're kind of ramping up to. And then this is what, way above the chimney tops. We're hearing two distinct timbre changes here as well, because Loren's got a slightly higher larynx position, and you're noticing that she's going into an as she's going into that high belt.
Dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow.
So we're going into the, I don't know how long this song is, so it's a shame that they've made the song so short, but they're actually singing the same note. I think they're up on the F, what? They're up on the F sharp 5. Let's just watch it again. And they're all not on the same note. Okay, so I stand corrected. They're not on the same note. Sydnie's up on the D5 there, and Loren is down on the B flat 4. So we have got that it's just the sound Sydnie, because this is what happens. And again, I'm not poo-pooing Sydnie. She's an amazing singer. I'm just saying to you, if you are looking to blend with other singers, you have to match the sounds, okay? And the problem that I have with this is when you add in tongue root tension, or you're adding in that tongue compression. I know she's much higher than that, yeah, but it's late today when I'm filming, and been teaching all day. So we've got that darkens the sound, but it also it darkens the sound, but it boosts it. So it makes it sound a lot fuller than if you were to go, May, 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 can you hear the difference between those two sounds? So it's really about matching those tongue positions with the other singer so that it doesn't sound, it sounds a little bit dissonant actually. So we heard the somewhere, and she did the some on a without that tongue compression. Sydnie, I'm talking about. Somewhere, and with the vowel, she went back into that tongue compression. So I would, if Sydnie was coming to me for singing lessons, I would want her to go through all of the vowels and make them sound the same and not have that tongue compression coming on with certain vowels. I know what you're going to say, and I know you're going to comment about this, but I do work with professional singers and I train them for stages like this. And in a solo situation, this would be, it is beautiful. They're both singing beautifully. I just feel like they're not quite meshing together in this performance. Can you feel those going to dream? I'm not a riffer like Loren, so I'm not even going to try and attempt that. But she's went into a lighter voice quality because we can't really stay on those big, heavy belt notes and have that same level of agility in the sound. Let's just watch this.
Dreams that you dare to dream really do come true.
So we had there, Loren, true. Now when we hear the sound, we often think like, falsetto, but it wasn't a falsetto sound. I don't think, I'm not in Loren's body. It doesn't sound to me like a falsetto sound. It doesn't have that hollowness to the falsetto. So we're in a thinner vocal fold with just a little bit of air coming through there, and it allows us to blend those registers a little bit better when we don't push, and especially when we're not stiff. So falsetto is with stiff vocal folds, and when we're not swapping to those stiff vocal folds, it helps us to blend without sort of like a big click coming in. Okay, so we're up on the F sharp. So, lovely thin vocal folds there. That's so difficult. You can see that she's gone, lift it up through the back of the head and the neck. That's so important in order to stabilize the sound, even when you're singing quiet and high. Really, really important there.
Really do come true. If happy little bluebirds fly beyond the rainbow,
So I love that there, that they, Loren was allowed to go high there, and then Sydnie took the lower harmony. But can you hear, actually that way worked a lot better in terms of the balance of their voices. Now, this is something that a professional vocal arranger will be looking at. I'm assuming that they went fair on both of those, where Sydnie took the first set of high notes, Loren took the second set of high notes, just so that they could have that fair advantage for both of them, showing kind of the A to Z of what they can do. We do know that Loren, is a favorite of Simon, and he's probably brought them together for this situation or for this performance. I know they recorded the song a while ago, right? But that just worked much better. Let's just listen to that again. it just worked better with Loren's brightness to go higher, and then Sydnie not having quite as much of that volume for that tongue compression to kind of overshadow Loren's sound in the mix. Oh, lovely there. So you can hear as well that Sydnie chose again to do a slightly shorter phrase. Loren was doing a longer phrase. When you're singing with someone else, the phrases also have to match. It sounds a little bit mismatched. And I know that, I'm going to get comments like, oh, you hated this performance. Beautiful performance. Amazing singers. Both of them. Fantastic. I feel like there's a little bit, this is not their problem. This is the vocal direction, the musical director. That's their thing that they should have told to them, because that's not up to the singer to make those decisions. Although the singer needs to be aware of these things in the rehearsal, really it's also up to the musical director to go like, yep, that sounds really, really good. That I want you guys to think about your phrases being together. Just sounds a little bit disjointed, almost like they're kind of singing to which it really suits each of their voices the way that they're singing it, which is fantastic. But when you're singing a duet, that's not what a duet is about. So the point being that I just want you to know that when you're singing with other people, you have to match your sound more to the other person. And I have talked about that before with other duets that we've watched. We watched Loren Allred and that fabulous singer, I can't remember her name, but I'll put it up here for you because you can really hear that their voices blend really beautifully together. Let's just listen to that again. You're going to see these lovely wide gestures here, and they're really important when we come to our belting. Yeah, so when we're looking at that, so why, oh, and we've got those short, sharp, high breaths, really important for our belt there. Why, and we've got to really think about these open, wide arms are going to be engaging through the upper, they're going to help us engage the upper chest muscles as well as those back muscles. And those shorter, sharp, high breaths are also going to help us to not take on too much breath, but also activate up here. So we're doing all of that with these lovely expansive gestures that Loren just did there again. Let's watch, because both of them, they did a little bit of a lean back as well. That can sometimes help us to engage a little bit more in these front abdominal muscles as well. So, and you hear that, so that's a really lovely onset to help get into that thicker vocal fold that we're needing for that upper belt sound. I know, I honestly don't, I couldn't really say, is this belt or is it not? Actually, I would say that was belt in that moment, because you can really say that, and she's got that it's kind of like a ring to the sound that we've got in there. Leaning back, doing all these lovely gestures, probably a little bit more of a pop belt, which is not quite as heavy as, say, a musical theatre belt that we heard a little bit earlier from Sydnie. Again, two different types of belt, and there's actually like a whole bunch of different ways in which we can belt. So if you are wanting to sing loud like this, it is really about first knowing how to control the lower part of your voice. But if you feel like you've got the lower part of your voice all set, then you really do need to come into the Vocal Academy for one-to-one singing lessons, and we will teach you how to belt, because there isn't like a one rule to fit everybody. It's really about getting individualized feedback for your voice, so you can apply for one of our very few one-to-one singing lessons in the description below. Wow, they're just amazing. Let's just watch this last note. Again, probably a little bit too much breath there from Loren to match in with Sydnie. Yeah, she's on the F sharp there. So on the D and the F sharp there, D5 and the F sharp 4. So then we've got that it's actually, down in the lower part of the range. We're still thin vocal folds, very quiet sound. Loren's decided to go for a little bit more of a falsetto sound. You can hear that hollowness to the sound which comes from that falsetto sound where the vocal folds actually go stiff in that situation. Absolutely beautiful. I know. I'm still going to post this video, even though I can just already imagine the comments that I'm going to get from this, because I want you to really genuinely know that I think that both of these women are the most amazing singers. They have beautiful technique. They've worked on their voices for years and years and years and years and years. And this is not their doing, okay? This is the musical director, the vocal director, the vocal whatever in the background. Those are the people that need to be telling the singers about this, about better blending, because when you're in the moment, it's very hard for you to reflect on these things. So I'm not saying it in terms of poo-pooing them. It's to help you to see that when you are singing with other people, a greater level of blending is really needed. Otherwise, it kind of sounds like you're singing two separate songs and not singing the same song together. So yeah, I'm still going to post this because it's really important for me to show you what it's like when you're really working with singers like this and what they're actually doing with their vocal technique. Check out some more Loren up here and some more Sydnie down here. And just remember that anyone can learn to sing. You just have to have the tools to do it. And that's what I'm here for. You can check out all the information available in the description below. If you want to improve your singing this year, you really do need to get feedback on your voice. And if you've enjoyed this video, hit that subscribe button. I'd love to see you around here more often. It really does help me to grow my channel and help more people like yourself for free here on YouTube with their vocal technique. Have an awesome rest today. Happy singing. Ka kite.